is Focused Health 302 Betting Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. It is time to talk Xfinity Series as they take to this Las Vegas Motor Speedway alongside of their Cup counterparts. Cody, the Truck Series are taking a well-earned week off. They raced last week, so they have to rest for another month before they go back at it again. So it's just Xfinity this week.
Just Xfinity. Only 4 Xfinity races left ever in the history of the Xfinity Series. It'll be back next year as the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, but yeah, 4 Xfinity Series races left. The trucks will return next week, and they'll finish out the final 3 weeks of the season with alongside the Cup and Xfinity Series. So looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to a full nothing but Xfinity show today.
As am I. And you know what, though? Most of those truck drivers are so young. It's okay. You have to, I think, what is it about child labor? You can't work them for a certain amount of hours, so they got to, they got to rest a little bit. That's the forgiveness. And look, come at me because I'm a grandpa, but it's cool because you guys are kids, so you do earn your milk and cookies and your time off. Just kidding. I love you guys. Nico checking in already saying, driver, start your engine. Laura checking in. Gets to watch us live. Hi, Laura. Good to see you. Somebody knock on Jess's door. Trucks are not here, but we're still talking Xfinity. But this is
interesting. Her truck, Rob.
She does. She does indeed. There's going to be a lot of fun to be had in this Xfinity Series race. I will tell you first and foremost, thank you, Books. You did a great job, actually, of giving us some stuff to work with, giving it to us early, and I am very pleased with some of the options. And Cody, your favorite Xfinity top 10s are back on the menu this month or this week.
Yeah, we got top 10s before we recorded the show for once, so that's nice. We'll actually be able to talk about that. So, I'm excited and pretty good selection from the books this week. I'm pretty happy with what we've been given for Xfinity, so I'll take it.
I will too. I'm looking at right now Slow Rolls. He says, taking the checkered flag for the win is Fireball Zeeb for the best rant of the month. Rod, call me crazy, but I do not believe Fireball Zeeb will be tailing your Captain Shook pick. Go back to the...
If you did not hear the argument at the end of the show yesterday, not really an argument, but I had my own little rant to Rod's pick at the end of the show there. Go back and check that out. That was a lot of fun. And we might continue it today because I think there's I know there's some things we're going to disagree on in today's Xfinity Series show, Rod. So I like it when we get a good disagreement in on the show, and twice in 1 week, why not?
Already some fireworks going on. Laura wants to know, Rod, you're a gramps. No, I mean, not technically. I'm not literally a grandfather, however. I may not be. I don't know. But not that I'm aware of.
Not quite old enough yet.
Well, I technically could be old enough. I mean, I am bordering.
You could be. Your kid's not quite old.
No, not too. I have one that could be. I don't know yet, but we'll see. Yeah. No. I'm talking about the oldest, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah. No, I don't know, Laura. I'm not, but we'll get there. And then TK saying passionate debate. That's what we do, right? I mean, We are a model society of how we cannot agree on something and yet be friends, Cody. Holy cow, what? We could disagree and be friends? That's unheard of in this day and age.
What? JDK and Rowdy do it every single day in the Discord.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, that is true Discord in that Discord. Go, join sg.pn/Discord. Search for the NASCAR channel. You will get there. But you can also find
shout
that.
Out to JDK. But shout out to JDK, by the way, who loves how much Captain Shook sucks. He was the originator of the Captain Shook AI generated photo there.
Matey. I know it was great too. But speaking of disagreeing, one thing we can agree on is that the SGPN app is the best app in the entire store, whether it's the App Store, whether it's the Google Play Store, whether it's your grocery store that sells apps. You can find all of our free picks and get easy access to all of that in the SGPN app. Go find it at any store. In fact, if they don't have it at your local grocery store, demand it at your local grocery store. We want the SGPN app for all of your great stuff that's on the app. But Cody. We are talking Xfinity. Obviously, Captain Shook not going to make an appearance in this one, but still plenty of people to talk about and fun to be had.
Yeah, absolutely. No Captain Shook in this one, of course. Cup Series drivers not allowed in this one, but that is not going to stop the Truck Series drivers from jumping up and joining this field. As I scramble to get the entry list for
Well, you don't have to get the entry list yet. I haven't officially set it up.
Oh, okay.
I was going to talk about news real quick.
And we do have news to talk about. I guess we should probably get to that first.
Yeah. I did see a post. I think you posted it in the Discord, actually, of one Harrison Burton saying that he was thanking AM Racing for all of their stuff this week. And notably missing from his uniform was a logo.
Clearly, where the Ford logo is on his fire suit is not in this picture he shared. There's one reason that you take Ford off of there. Either you've signed with Toyota, Chevrolet, or Dodge potentially. We could see it, right? It's could be going to that college truck team or Dodge, truck team. Who knows? We'll see. He's kind of been a little bit with everybody. Came up through JGR in Toyotas and Xfinity there, was with Ford, obviously, in Cup. Ford now in Xfinity, but I wouldn't, guys in the Discord were talking about JRM potentially. I could see that happening. He does seem to have a good amount of funding behind him to go to one of those bigger teams. Maybe it didn't work out last year. They had some of that stuff already filled, but maybe you see that this year with a JRM or return to JGR. Maybe it is a Truck Series something, but he obviously did a great job with AM Racing this year, getting them into the playoffs. Was huge for that team, and he's got the funding behind him. He's obviously got the name behind him as well with the Burton name. So, it would appear to me he's already got his next deal figured out and done. And it's probably not going to be with a Ford team, I would say.
But I'd say that this was a very successful return for Harrison Burton. Sometimes we always say, that you just need to take a step back to take another step forward, and that really was the case with him. He wasn't a bad race car driver, and he's never been a bad race car driver. He just needed, I guess, a breath of fresh air to get out of the rat race of the Cup Series for a second and just figure things out.
The Cup Series is hard, Rod. It's we're supposed to give a lot of these guys crap, but you could be the absolute stud of all studs in some of the lower series, and not that Harrison was. He was good in the 20 car before. Ty Gibbs has struggled so far. He'll get the hang of it here soon, Rod. I'm certain of that. But it is hard to be in the Cup Series, and like Wood Brothers, let's not oversell them. Sure, it's a Penske team, quote unquote, but it's still the Wood Brothers. It's not. And Josh Berry got that win at Vegas this year, fooled all of us, pulled the wool over my eyes. He still sucks. But yeah, it's not like that team is crazy bad, or crazy good, really. So. He did a great job going back down to a lesser team, did well with them, and I think it's probably helped lead to this new opportunity.
Indeed. All right, what other stories you got cooking over there, Cody?
Yeah, NASCAR announced today that they are officially going to increase the horsepower from 670 horsepower to 750 on all Cup Series tracks that are under 1.5 miles. So 1.5 mile racing has been great. Let's leave that alone. Let's not touch that. Super Speedways obviously is a different story and all that, but under 1.5 miles. So even the Darlingtons, the Nashvilles, Gateways of the world that are 1.33 or whatever, Those will all be included in this. The short tracks, increasing the horsepower, and the hope with that is that it will generate a premium, or place a greater premium rather, on throttle control, incentivize tire management, and create more passing opportunities, according to NASCAR. So that's the idea with that. Increase the horsepower. It makes them have to drive the cars a little bit more. And it sounds like NASCAR's really kind of, so Steve O'Donnell was on the Dale Jr. download today. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that, I just did this afternoon. Pretty good episode. He talked about a lot of stuff, the lawsuit, some of the other rule changes, kind of how they're looking at playoffs and stuff. But a lot of good points from him there. They're definitely looking at a lot of things, and there's kind of been more and more rumors about opening things up where maybe they start allowing teams to work on the parts of their own and create their own parts for this car. And that could be a double-edged sword, because we've had, while it's still the top heavy, the parity at the top has been great. We haven't had the big 10-win seasons like we've had in the old cars. So we'll see. But the upgraded horsepower, another piece in them continuing to try to find the next level with this car at these shorter tracks, at the road courses. And Goodyear obviously is a big piece in that as well. They've been doing a great job. So now if you can mix this tire wear stuff with the higher horsepower, that makes things more difficult, increases the tire wear on tires that are already wearing. Hopefully we're kind of on our way to finding that magic formula that makes this great, that makes this continue to be a great car on the shorter, smaller tracks.
Well, and you hear it all the time on these shorter tracks where the guys are constantly on the limiter, right? And it just feels like they should be going faster. That way they can, because if you go faster, it does force you to have to make more decisions. Do I go this fast? Like, is this too fast to go in this instant, right? Because everybody equates NASCAR to just mashing the gas pedal, going as fast as you possibly can, and hoping for the best, where if you are doing that, then obviously you're doing it wrong, because you can't just match the gas pedal all the time and you're going to go straight to the wall. But you have to find that balance between the limits of the car and your own personal comfort limits, right? Because, you see these folks that don't want to go as fast as the car can go because they can't handle the what it takes to make the car go that fast and handle at the same time. So I'm all for this. I like experiments in seeing how we can get this car to the point where the racing's good each and every week, and that it's fair across the board for folks. Because, again, I know that everybody's like, well, we don't want to see stage breaks because we just want to see cars go and go as far as they can. We don't want to see this type of thing happen. We don't want to see this. And it's like, do you want an F1 race on an oval?
Yeah. Yeah, be careful what you ask for with not having stage cautions. I mean, we saw stages where Kyle Larson led 300 laps of Kansas earlier this year, even with the stage breaks. Like, imagine that type of race without the stage breaks. The stage breaks, I think, are a part of the sport now, and they've been around long enough. We don't need to touch that, but we'll see. Jeff Gluck kind of compiled a list of some of the key stuff for Steve O'Donnell talked about with the playoff format. Nothing will be announced before the end of the season. He thinks the current playoffs potentially hurt star power. I disagree with that, but that's what he says. He doesn't like that people talk about the playoffs when somebody wins the Daytona 500. I don't either, Rod, because you're not mathematically locked into the playoffs when you win the Daytona 500. But he also said the NASCAR needs the drivers to buy in to whatever the format is. Kind of the way he alluded to, I suppose, was that it's going to be a multi-race thing. I think that's what I sort of picked up from that conversation is we're headed that direction, which we sort of already knew anyways. So, I think that's the general direction we're heading in with that.
Yeah, and really maybe it's just because when I jumped back into the sport, it was sort of being brand new, and I wasn't necessarily always sold on a one race winner takes all type of a situation, because you bust your ass for, damn near 9 months, and it comes down to one race at the end. And if you have one bad day, after you've put together a season worth of just amazingness, and it comes down to one bad pit stop or one wrong place, wrong time, one loose wheel, one something, and it just obliterates your entire season and you get taken out of the championship. I just feel like that doesn't reward the best of what you've done all season long, which is what a championship is, right? Sometimes, mostly, I don't know. I guess... Yeah.
Sometimes, not always. It is a double-edged sword, because the New England Patriots go undefeated and then have one bad game against the New York Giants, and the Giants are Super Bowl champions. which he brought that up. O'Donnell brought that up on the Dale Jr. Download because he is a Giants fan. And he said, as football fans, everybody loves that. Racing fans don't seem to love that as much. And so I think there is something to that. Obviously, in football, it's one team playing against one other team. There's a lot more going on in racing. There's also mechanical issues, and you can't control injuries in the Super Bowl, right? Maybe Brandon Cooks dies on the first play of the game for the Patriots, and they end up losing to the Eagles. It's happened before. But there is more uncontrollables in motorsports with mechanical stuff and whatnot. So, and yes, in a general sense, racing has always been, and it still is at local levels in F1 and IndyCar, an embodiment of the season. I think we don't need the 36 race deal, but I think that having 4, 5, even up to the 10 races back to like the chase they did, I think is great. You have multiple disciplines in there, short tracks, road courses, super speedways, a little bit of everything we do throughout the whole season. And it allows for a more maybe true champion. Not that, and Dale Jr. made this point, he thinks that the format we have now is the hardest to win in. And I absolutely agree, because you have to get to that race and you have to be perfect in that race. But I think that it'd be better to crown a champion with a couple of race sample size. And I think that well on our way to getting there.
And the Carolina Panthers do not participate in the Super Bowl if they didn't make it, so they can't muck up your game, which is exactly the argument for these non-playoff drivers. But all right, we've got a race to get to. We got a race to bet on, and we're going to give you our favorite bets for this race. But first, allow me to tell you about our friends over at MyBookie.ag. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie, your place to bet on football and everything else, and I mean everything, and I'm going to give you an example here in a second. The prop builder is second to none. Motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Like I always say, I will do that exactly for you. Easy deposit, lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. How everything, anytime, anywhere. How about the Aussie Football League? The women's division is in full swing right now. Their ladder is cooking up. They have got the Western Bulldogs taking on the Essendon Bombers, and the Bulldogs are 8.5-point underdogs at -125 over on MyBookie. I like that. I like what they gave. They gave Port Adelaide everything they could handle for a half over the last round, and unfortunately couldn't pull it off. But they are a scrappy team. Give me the Western Bulldogs plus 8.5 over Essendon. And look, again, this is just one of those fun things that you can find by digging around at MyBookie. Head to MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig is getting the best prices right now. The Eagles, you can get them at -7.5 in their game at -103. Most other books right now are giving them at -120. So you can pick yourself up a nice little, less juice over there on Novig. Novig is available in 35 or more states. Go download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig promo code SGPN. I'm having an absolute blast watching the AFL women's. I love Aussie rules, but I'm telling you right now, it's just I can't get enough of it. And right now, the fact that the women's division is going makes life so much more fun on days when there's no football and no NASCAR. And well, now I can't say no hockey because hockey's on its way too now. So
hockey, baseball, basketball's almost back. It's what a time to be alive, Rod. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. And it is a time to be alive in Las Vegas as we turn our attention to the Focused Health 302 set for 201 laps around this 1.500 mile paved track for 301.500 miles around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Viva Las Vegas. Cody, now we can figure out who's in this race.
I'm well prepared this time, Rod, so thank you for allowing me the time to find the entry list. 38 entries for this race, so they will all make the race. Notable entries, Daniel Hemrick jumping up from the Truck Series, who's off this week. He's going to be in that number 11 for Colleague Racing. We'll be talking about him. That car has been pretty good here lately with a number of different drivers in it. Corey Day, he returns to the Xfinity Series with Hendrick Motorsports. He'll be racing that number 17 car. Eric Amarola is back, looking to move that that 19 car into the owners playoff championship round if he could get a win there. At least score some points for them. So he's back in that 19 car for JGR. Trevor Bayne. Have we seen Bayne this year? I feel like once. Maybe he's made a start or two, but I can't recall him being here. He's going to be back in the 24 car for Sam Hunt Racing. So, we've seen him in JGR stuff kind of the last couple of years, but still sticking with Toyota, at least in that 24 car. Austin Green, he's back in 32 after a second place run last week. Rod, who could have seen that coming? Josh Williams also back in the number 91 for DGM Racing. I believe that covers all of the notable drivers in this one.
Indeed, I was mistaken. Trevor's actually made a truck start, not an Xfinity start this season. So apologies for that. I knew he started somewhere.
Year, but that's what it felt like. We'd seen him at some point this year, but I couldn't quite recall. So that makes sense. Always good to see. I believe he's still the youngest Daytona 500 winner in history with that Wood Brothers 21 we were talking about earlier. So always good to see him kind of returning and still hanging around the sport a little bit. And we've seen him run really well in those JGR cars last couple of years. Sam Hunt's obviously Sam Hunt, but hey, we've seen some guys in equipment like that do pretty good. Mustache, anybody?
Mustache?
He's been running pretty well.
Yeah, indeed. All right, well then, Cody, I guess all that's left now is to start the card off. And I see you woke up this morning and chose violence already.
I have one more thing, Ron. So much like the Cup Series, the playoffs are aligned now with the Xfinity Series. This is the beginning of their round of 8. So win here locks you into that Final Four at Phoenix, and you can start working on that car right away. That could be huge, right? And the playoff picture looks a lot different here. No mulligans in the Cup Series. There's some mulligans to be had in the Xfinity Series, especially for Connor Zilic. 57 points to the good, but you don't want to use that mulligan this week because you might need it next week at Talladega. He's feeling pretty good about his chances to make the championship floor. Justin Allgaier, 24 points to the good. Not a full mulligan, but that is a pretty good cushion to have as well. After that, it's all real close. Brandon Jones is 4 points to the good. Sam Mayer, 2 points to the good. Jesse Love, 2 points to the bad. Sammy Smith, 7 points to the bad, rather. Carson Kvapil, notably, 11 points to the bad. And Sheldon Creed, 13 points to the bad side of things. And then, as TK was pointing out, the 21 car is still in for the owners' playoffs. They didn't lose. I don't believe they lost all their playoff points in the 21 car. That was just Austin Hill, the driver. So that's kind of where things get all messy with the championship stuff for the owners' championship, but at least still racing for that, obviously, because he's not going to be racing for a driver's title this year.
Yep. Sad to see him. Never mind. I'm just kidding. All right, let's start loading up this card. We've got a lot of good stuff.
Yes.
And like I said, you woke up and chose violence this morning.
I did wake up and choose violence. So I'd actually like to turn it over to you. I'd like for you to go first. You were in the dock first. You had a bet in here. And then, I countered your bet with another bet. But I'd like for you to state your case first. So the floor is yours, Rob.
Oh, breaking with protocol already, man. This is a spicy episode. All right, well then, the bet in question is Carson Kvapil, and he is taking on Tay Gray. And this is only because of Taylor Swift's new album. I am boycotting it. Therefore, anything named Taylor is not going to win this week. No, I'm just kidding. Listen.
Objection. Relevance.
It'll all be. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. We'll circle this around, counselor. Carson Kvapil over Taylor Gray plus 105 over on Caesars. You can get it even money, I think, on ESPN. But if you have Caesars, I would take the extra nickel and add that to the total. But look, both of these guys have had their struggles this year, right? I'm not going to sit here and paint a rosy picture for either one of them. Taylor Gray, average finish of 15.4 this season, has had one top 10 finish since Indianapolis, where he did finish in third, but Iowa 17th, Watkins Glen 18th, Daytona 30th, Portland 14th, Gateway 17th, Bristol 14th, Kansas, he did get a 6th place finish. I get that's a mile and a half, and 13th place at the ROVAL. But I mean, listen, he started on the pole in Charlotte, ended up finishing in 30th. That was after a 2nd place at Texas, which was another one as well. Las Vegas earlier in the spring, he started in 4th place, finished in 19th. Like, this is not the guy that we expected him to be when he came up And yeah, he's a rookie. Yeah, he's getting his feet wet. Yeah, I get it. He's in really good equipment, and he's still in the. But the 54 car still gives me PTSD, in which I want to throw it out of the track every time I see it, no matter who's driving it. But I love me some Tay-Tay Gray, right? We love ourselves some Taylor Gray, but this is not a situation where I think he's going to thrive, because Carson Kvapil in that JRM equipment, much better over the last long haul. Now, his season has not been rosy either. I will paint that picture because Cody's going to counter with it. He's got a 14th place average finish this season. But listen to his finishes since, we'll take it since Indy, right? 30th at Indy. That was bad. But 9th at Iowa, 5th at Watkins Glen, 10th at Daytona, 6th at Portland. Engine failure at Gateway. Very, very rare for that to happen in a JRM equipment. But 4th at Bristol, 15th at Kansas. Okay, yes. That was an instance where Taylor Gray actually did end up getting him. But listen, man, Taylor Gray, we're talking about shook. That's shook. That's a lot of bad finishes for Taylor Gray in a row. Something happening to Taylor Gray. I don't know what's going on, but he's not doing the best lately. When there's only been one start on this track for Carson Kvapil, and he did start on the outside pole, which, by the way, was a good start for him. Ended up finishing in 17th. He still got the best of Taylor Gray by 2 spots in this race in the spring. The only other start for Taylor Gray in the 19, a 33rd place finish in Las Vegas. I, Cody, am curious how you're going to spin this in Taylor Gray's direction.
Well, it's not that hard because it's actually pretty easy. Shook, you used the phrase shook. Very interesting. If you could, if the court could reference yesterday's show and the comments on how clearly the defendant here does not understand the phrase shook and what that means. So I will allow you to go back and review that. But speaking of shook, the last 3 races in a row here, over the last 3 race stretch, so current form, you could say, have all been Taylor Gray, 3 for 3 actually, beating Carson Kvapil. So interesting fact that the defendant here left out. Another point is if he focused on the season as a whole, yeah, whatever, blowing smoke up your ass. Sorry for that, everybody. But what about big tracks where that's what we're racing on, right? Is a big track, 1.5 miles. What about going back to Kansas just 2 weeks ago? Very recent. Also, sister track to Las Vegas. Almost identical. Tire wears a little different, but pretty close tracks, right? Taylor Gray runs up front all day long. 6th place finish. Great run. Carson Kvapil, 15th place in a JRM car. Interesting. Well, maybe that's an outlier, right? So let's go back to Indianapolis. You referenced Indianapolis. I don't remember hearing you say Taylor Gray finished 3rd at that big track where Carson Kvapil did finish in 30th. Pocono, hey, I'll give it to you, right? 6th place finish for Carson there. He got the best of Taylor Gray, but only by 3 spots. So when Carson does beat Taylor on the big tracks, it's close. Usually, it's the other way around, and it's a blowout in Taylor's favor. Charlotte was an outlier. Troubles for Gray there, finished in 30th, but Kvapil wasn't good. He was 17th. That's not, if Gray finishes the race, not going to finish worse than 17th, so not worried about that. Texas, 2nd place for Taylor Gray, 17th for Carson Kvapil. Las Vegas, you referenced it, 19th to 17th ride. It was close. Early in the season, settling into these rides, rookies. That was the 3rd race of the season, first non-super speedway. Not going to think too much into that. It's clearly been Taylor Gray down the stretch. It's clearly been Taylor Gray the last couple of weeks. Carson Kvapil has established himself as someone you cannot trust. He's so not talented that he's not getting a full-time ride next year. I think that could possibly play into some things here. I mean, he's been essentially fired from that full-time ride because he's not getting the results he should be getting in that JRM car. So, yeah, I think that clearly the court should rule in favor of Taylor Gray, which you can get at a nice, it unloaded there. You can get it at a nice -120 over on ESPN. Not too much of a price to pay for a guy clearly better than Kvapil each and every single week. So I will rest my case there.
I will just rebut with this. Carson Kvapil, 13 top 10s on the season. Taylor Gray, 12. There is not clearly a choice for Taylor Gray as you would think there is. The numbers are close enough to where I'm going to take plus money on a JRM car because Andrew has the last word. Hard to beat any JRM car in Xfinity. Absolutely correct.
Is it hard to bet against Carson Kvapil or Sammy Smith? it's hard to bet against Justin Allgaier and Connor Zilic. Well, Allgaier could be questionable at times. Yeah. But Zilic, don't bet against him. I would never advise that in current form. But Sammy Smith, I'm not betting on him. And and a sad twist here for Taylor Gray. He was going to win at Martinsville, got taken out by a JRM car. Not having the extra 5 points eliminated him via Sammy Smith. So that came back to haunt him. He's going to be on a little bit of a revenge tour this week for that. And that, that right there nullifies your 12 to 13 top 10s. Doesn't really matter. Should be 13 to 13. So, again, going to ask the court to rule in my favor and take the minus 120. And hey, this is minus Caesars, where you got it at plus 105. It's minus 130 on the Gray side of thing, because they know the answer to the question here. So just take the right answer, Rob.
Or they know suckers like you are about to go throw your money down on minus 130 on Taylor Gray, where the smart folks are going to bet 105 on Connor Zilic and win.
Take my money if you're going to be this good on the big tracks, Rob.
Old-fashioned football saying, hey, look at these studs.
Hey,
you caught mom and dad in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, they had a great show. They just ended over there. So shout out to them. Always do a great job. I got on there last week in the comments and was talking about how the Patriots were going to lose. Perfect. It's set up beautifully. And they didn't lose. They fucking kicked the Bills' ass. Ha! Suck it at them.
Reverse jinx. You absolutely got to love that one. So, all right. Well, then, okay, listen. So, to recap, that was Carson Kvapil over Taylor Gray for me at plus 105. And it was the reverse. Taylor Gray over Carson Kvapil minus 120 over on ESPN for Cody as bet number one. But I would like you to further just further your case then, because you've got this in the next box. Just furthering your case.
I mean, hey, if we're going to be talking about Taylor Gray here, you mentioned it too, actually, sort of in Tay-Tay's, to help bump him up right now. Taylor Swift, the other Tay-Tay, right? We know that Taylor Gray is the real Tay-Tay, but Taylor Swift, some small album, talk about Travis Kelce's penis or something, I don't know. But hey, Taylor is over here looking, and he's like, your album, I'm going to be out here winning races. Doesn't have to win this race to cash the top 5 for you. That's what I got. 3-1 for a Joe Gibbs racing car to finish in the top 5. Go back and look at Kansas a couple of weeks ago where he finished in 6th place, 1 spot outside of the top 5. Brandon Jones, you might not want to bet against JRM cars, but do you? I mean, they didn't win at Kansas just 2 weeks ago at a similar track, right? So Gray should be really good. Teammate was very good. He was good also at Kansas. The 3rd place at Indy, 9th place at Pocono, 2nd place at Texas. All those, I think, are really good in his favor. Go back to last year, the bad finish here at Vegas, whatever, running part-time in the 19 car, figuring stuff out. Earlier this season, 19th place run. Again, figuring stuff out, rookie, getting his feet wet, not worried about it. He's really figured things out as the season's gone on. I think that he's going to be in the mix for a top 5 this week. So give me old Tay-Tay, Taylor Gray, top 5 at 3-1.
So long as Kvapil finishes 4th, I don't care. That bet can cash so long as both. See,
I would like for this to be a close battle and for us to be sweating all day like which one of us is going to win. But if you look at the numbers, it's not going to be a close battle because Gray gets him on these big tracks every single time by quite a few positions. So unfortunate that the folks won't even get a sweat out there, and it'll just be an easy cash if they take my side of things.
Absolutely love it. All right, well then I am going to give you my next bet, but I'm going to do it in a minute because I want to officially tell you about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy, because Underdog is a great place to play fantasy pick'em where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player's stats. It's available in a ton of sports. I was giving you this the other day, and it's still up, and I still love it. How about Missy Gannon in the Disc Golf Pro Tour? Just go to Underdog Fantasy, go to the pick'em part, slide all the way to the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and then slide a little bit down. You got Missy Gannon. Her finishing position for the tournament of the Throw Pink WDG Championships is 4.5. I'm going to take the better than. This is how I know that these people are listening, that everyone's listening, because when I gave this out to you yesterday, she was plus 103 or something, 103 to on the better than, and now she is 88x on the better than. So people are listening, but still take it because Missy Gannon, first or second in each of her last 4 tournaments, That's better than 4.5. So definitely give me Missy Gannon, better than 4.5 in her tourney finishing position for the Disc Golf Pro Tour. This weekend, you can find all of those and more, and a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN. Football's back, baby, and so is Rhythm, and Rhythm is crushing it in NFL and college football with picks and props. They went 8-2 on passing props overs in week 5 and 5-0 on Dylan Gabriel debut props. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you could win $1,000. How about taking a look at these Titans and Raiders? I was almost going to say Ravens. Titans and Raiders. Ravers. Where are we at? In the rave? In the club? Titans and Raiders predictions. They're giving the Titans plus 3.5 on Rhythm right now. So I'm almost tempted to take that because the Raiders have been god-awful lately, and the Titans actually did pull themselves a nice little win. So maybe we'll ride the rhythm of the rhythm of the Titans. Let's see what I did there. And take their plus 3.5 that Rhythm is giving you and ride that one to the bank. So like that a lot. You can find that and more. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. I was sweating every bit of Calvin Ridley's day. I needed him to have a really good day because I was in danger of dropping with Derrick Henry going poor, and then with James Cook just going limp too. Like, I needed a big performance from a wide receiver, and thank God I got it from Ridley.
It's shocking that you would even play Calvin Ridley, but I'm glad that worked out for you, Rod.
Hey, I love torture, as if it weren't for the last bet that I gave you.
I know you were trying to bet on Carson Kvapil here a few minutes ago, so. Well established that you do like the torture.
Indeed. Old-fashioned football saying Mir did the same thing, said Ravens instead of Raiders. I think we all just want to forget the Raiders. Oh, by the way, Mir, I'm sorry.
You don't want to forget the Ravens, too.
Yeah, seriously. I'm sorry for your loss, by the way. I didn't mean to take you down that badly last week, but I did it anyway, so sorry.
Well, that'll happen.
It does happen. All right. Speaking of taking people down, how about Daniel Dye? The Xfinity Series best camera operator in the car. He is in a group over on Hard Rock, and this is a great group because what I love about Hard Rock is they gave us group 2, 1, 6, 4, 3, and 5, and in that order, too. It was definitely out of order. I don't know why you wouldn't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but that's neither here nor there. But Daniel Dye is in group 5 against Harrison Burton, Parker Retzlaff, and Matty DiBenedetto, and I'm going to take him to win that entire group over there on Hard Rock at 2-1. It's, again, you're kind of this is one of those specials where you're just like, okay, well, it's the battle for what you're probably going to end up being 20th to somewhere 25th or something like that. You're going to be watching the bottom of the barrel for this, and we want to get you watching the entire score bug as you're watching the race because that's what makes it more fun. But for Daniel Dye, an overall finish this year of 19.1. Nothing to write home about. Some pretty decent finishes. Kansas, he got a 12th place finish, so pretty good on that one. Gateway, another track that's not a road course or something like that. A 10th place finish there. He finished 8th at Indy. He finished 31st at Pocono, unfortunately. 38th at Nashville. 31st at Charlotte. But 11th at Texas, right? 9th at Rockingham. 7th at Martinsville. 9th at Homestead. He did finish 12th at Las Vegas earlier this season. Harrison Burton, 30th place finish at Las Vegas this season, followed up with a 27th place at Bristol, 28th at Texas, a 36th at Kansas, a 32nd at Charlotte. Yeah, he made the playoffs, but boy, I got to tell you, it was a rough road for him on mile and a half. 23rd at Kansas, a couple of weeks ago for him as well.
Now you care about mile and a half stats, huh?
Yeah, I do, in fact. And if you would have looked at him closely, you said, but he only got him by 2. Well, he got him by 2. So this is a wider gap than 2 spots between Harrison Burton and Daniel Dye. We joke about calling equipment, but it actually hasn't been running that bad lately.
It's been running great.
It's been running great for them. Yeah. Now, Daniel Dye, on the other hand, has not been the recipient of it. unfortunately, much like, I guess, Carson Kvapil in the JRM equipment. But as for Matt DiBenedetto, average finish this season of 23.3, 32nd at the ROVAL, 23rd at Kansas, 24th at Bristol, 11th at Gateway, pretty decent finish there, but not much to write home about any other place than that. 36th at Charlotte, 15th at Texas. Just really not that great for the 99. It's been sort of the I'm going to get caught up in nonsense type of a situation for him. 16th at Las Vegas. The only person, let's just go this way, because for Daniel Dye, he doesn't have the extensive track history that most people have, but the only person to finish better than Matt DiBenedetto in the Xfinity Series in Kansas in the race back then was the aforementioned Harrison Burton. And, Harrison Burton finished 8th in that race, whereas it was a 12th place finish for Daniel Dye. So 4 spots, but Harrison Burton has not been the same since, right? So we're sort of banking on the fact that Harrison Burton now, especially with this news that who knows what's happening with him next year. Not that he's not going to go out and race well, but, it's been rough. The playoffs were rough to him, and there are drivers that take that as a sort of relief when they're gone. But in this case, yeah, it's a relief, but what's he looking forward to in this race team other than going out and logging some good laps for them? Whereas Daniel Dye still wants to have his seat, and he needs to drive like it. So he's running out of opportunities to show that. So give me Daniel Dye to win this group 5 over Harrison Burton, Parker Retzlaff, and Matt DiBenedetto at 2-1.
Yeah, I always like a good shitbox special. This will have you looking all up and down the board, so hard to argue with that. Harrison Burton scares me a bit in this group, but otherwise I'll ride with you on this one, Rod, because gotta love the shitbox specials. Those are always a good time. You know who's a good time at Las Vegas? It is one Ryan Seig. Top 10 plus 110 for Mr. Seig. 19th place run at Kansas a couple weeks ago wasn't as good as you'd hoped, but they've had that same speed. So if you kind of go back to last season and remember, they start the season and he just comes out with this car at Las Vegas, and you're like, whoa, this is not the Ryan Seig we've been watching for 15 years in the Xfinity Series. Like, the hell is he driving? And then we learn it's a Stewart-Haas. They've suddenly got a partnership and it's prepared, and he took off on 1.5 miles and ran great. So he was 7th place here in the spring of last year. And he's kept that up through this season. So just going completely back to last year, he finished 7th in the spring at Vegas. He went to Texas and finished in 2nd. He almost won that race. 7th at Charlotte. Came back here in the fall, where he finished in 2nd place. So a great run there. Again, another race where he was fairly close to having a shot to win there at the end. 7th place here in the spring race, so inside of the top 10 pretty easily. 8th place again at Texas. He was 14th at Charlotte, so just outside. 5th at Pocono, 5th at Indy, 19th at Kansas. So he's had the same speed that they had last year. I think they've still got that partnership with, obviously it's not Stewart-Haas anymore, but just Haas Automation. But it seems to still be there. Plus 110 for a guy that pretty much week to week hangs out around the top 10. And you get to these bigger tracks, and he seems to have figured something out the last couple of years, especially here, right? A 2nd place, a 7th place, a 7th place. That's his last 3 finishes. You're getting plus money to be inside of the top 10 when he's comfortably been inside the top 10. The last 3 times, give me old Ryan Seig, plus 110.
I really do hope that nothing happens to him to take him out of that. And a top 10 is really not much to ask either. And for Ryan Seig, it just sucks because every time you see him, especially coming out of the field care center, after getting caught up in something, you're just like, damn it, man. What? You were doing so well.
And it really never is his fault either. Like, it's always he gets caught up in somebody else's shit. Oh, that's cost me so much money on super speedways over the years where he looks good, he's leading, and then suddenly somebody just fucks it up and he gets taken out, which is unfortunate. But no, I feel like it's going to be a good run for them this weekend. And he's been extremely good at this track in particular. And, kind of looking back through his Kansas stats, 19th there a couple of weeks ago, you could say, well, that's a little concerning, but he's not been as good at Kansas for whatever reason as he has been at Vegas. So I'm not overly worried about the 19th place finish 2 weeks ago. And I think we're going to get a good run from Mr. Seig this weekend.
Remember what we said, sometimes there are just drivers who circle Las Vegas onto their calendar because they are good at Las Vegas, regardless of where they're at in the 1.5 miles on the other part of the schedule. So I love it. All right. Speaking of that, how about Brandon Jones? I'm going to give a top 5. When I first pulled up all of the odds, top 10s were not available yet, but I still like this because I'm not worried about.
Trust me, I looked at the top 10. He's pretty short. It's like minus 225. So.
Yeah, see, you can't do that. So Brandon Jones,
top 5 is the way to go.
Yeah, it is the way to go. 2-1 for Brandon Jones on Hard Rock, still going on right now. But for Brandon Jones, I mean, look, this is he's very well versed on the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He has got 12 top 10 finishes in 17 career starts on this. His average finish is 10th place, which is why you can't get his top 10 number at a good number. He's got 2 top 5s, which is a little bit, obviously it doesn't make you feel good completely about this, but think about it this way too. He was in the 9 for a while, where he had a 21st place finish in the first run that he was there in 2013 or 2023 rather. But 8th place, 9th place, 17th in his last run, but he did start on the pole in that race. And then 6th place earlier in the spring for JGR. So that's
better in the JGR cars than he was in the JRM car. Hold on, let me write that down.
That's Brandon Jones.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
it's the same driver in both sets of equipment, yet better results in the JGR car. So
maybe he likes the food in the cafeteria better. I don't know. But Brandon Jones does have a 3rd place finish in 2019 with JGR and a 3rd place finish in 2021 as well in JGR equipment. But for Brandon Jones, this season's been pretty good for him. He won Kansas a couple of weeks ago, right? That was the thrilling win for him. He needed that one. 4th place finish at Gateway, 3rd place at Dover, 9th place at Texas, 5th at Bristol. He won at Darlington, 6th at Las Vegas, like I said earlier in the spring, 7th at Miami, 3rd at Phoenix. So very capable of finishing in and around the top 5 each and every week. Obviously, if we think every JRM car is the fastest in the world, then they all should be up in the top 5, and Brandon Jones driving one of those should cash a 2-1 bet for you in that.
Yeah, I absolutely love this bet. If you didn't have it on here, I was definitely gonna put it on my card. I've got more thoughts on him in a bit. I'll save it, but a lot like a Daniel Suarez, he's got his tracks he's good at, and he tends to be good at them. And Vegas, much like Kansas 2 weeks ago when he won, is one of those tracks. So do not sleep on Mr. Jones this week. Speaking of JGR drivers, Rod, I'm going to jump over to former Xfinity Series champion driving a JGR car, of course, one Daniel Hemrick. This week he's going to be in that number 11 for Colleague. But, hey, that number 11 for Colleague has been pretty solid here lately. So you can get him plus 125 for a top 10. Again, by the way, top 10s for Xfinity Series, ESPN is the only book that seems to carry those anymore. So props to them. That's where you can go find those. I know, no other books seem to offer it. Bet365 did for a short time, but I think you guys beat them too bad on that, and they gave up. So shout out to ESPN for still offering them. But plus 125, a great number for Daniel Hemrick. You go back and look at the season. He's only got 2 starts in the Xfinity Series. Last week at the ROVAL, whatever. But he made an oval start at Worldwide Technologies, finished in 7th place there. So a great run in his 1 start in this same car in the Xfinity Series this year. So you like to see things like that. You go back and you look at what this 11 car did just 2 weeks ago at Kansas. Again, Josh Williams early in the season, they struggled, although he finished, I think, 5th at Charlotte or something like that, somewhere in the top 10 for sure. He gets fired. They put in these Cup guys, really figured some stuff out. Brendan Butterbean Queen, we had him for the top 5, and later on in the Discord, the top 10 when the odds came out, finished in 9th place in the same 11 car. I love Butterbean. He's a great up-and-coming driver, but Daniel Hemrick, he's been there, done that, and he used to be really good on these ovals, especially these 1.5 in that JGR equipment, which probably mostly because the equipment's so amazing in 1.5, Rod, as you probably know. But he did run here in 2023, where he made a couple of starts, finished 10th place here in the spring, 9th place here in the fall, running with the Colleague team at the time as well. So been good at this track in the past, and if you go back and look at previous stats when he was with JGR, hard to completely compare those because it's better equipment, but great runs a 1.5 does during his streak of Sheldon Creed top 2 finishes. But I love Daniel Hemrick this weekend, and I know he was brought up in the Discord as well. The top 5 number is kind of juicy. I'm definitely interested in peeking at the top 5 number. It didn't officially make the card, but if that's your thing, I would definitely get in on that. So give me Daniel Hemrick, top 10 plus 125.
He is the Craftsman Truck Series playoff contender, Daniel Hemrick, and I'm sure he's probably just happy to be down, or at least up, I suppose, in the Xfinity Series, stretching his legs and people that he can race against that he doesn't have to worry about getting crashed.
And like if you look at his Truck Series season, we've talked about it all year. He's been the most consistent guy, just in the hunt every single week, gets the most out of the equipment. Don't forget, not only is he a former Xfinity Series champion in that, I think he was in the 18 at the time, 18 or 19, one of the two, but former champion of this series, but he was also a Cup Series driver for a few years. So he's been all over the board. He's got tons of experience. Yes, he's kind of stepped back down, which we talked about, not a bad thing for everybody, right? Harrison did really well with that this year. John Hunter, obviously, the big recent reflection of going all the way back down to the Truck Series and working his way back to Cup. But Hemrick's an experienced guy, knows how to wheel these things, and knows how to put the car, get the most out of the car, and that's what you love about him.
It is what you love about it, but I love, and I'm running out of opportunities to talk about Jesse Love because the races are running thin. So I'm going to take my opportunity to do it right now and give you Jesse Love. I looked at his top 5. I considered his top 5. I would also consider his top 10 if I would have seen it at a good number. But I am just going to go ahead and go out and call my shot with Jesse Love as a top 3 car at plus 450. I will just pretty much say he did this the last time he was out on this track, right? He finished 3rd place in the spring against the likes of Eric Almirola, against the likes of Justin Allgaier. He fended off guys like Connor Zilic, who started 3rd in this race. He fended off all these other fantastical drivers that are really crushing it right now. And for Jesse Love, I mean, look, we just know he's that talented of a driver, and him and his teammate Austin Hill came in 3rd and 4th with Jesse getting the better of it. And I just don't feel like, I know he's fallen off, right? I know that he has not been what he was in the beginning of the season, and really even what he was in the beginning or the middle or any part of last season, but still a really good stretch between Dover and Kansas, right? With a couple of outliers in there, but Dover, 5th place finish, Indy, 9th place finish, Iowa, runner-up, Watkins Glen, road course 14th, but Daytona 4th, Portland 10th, Gateway 5th, Kansas a couple of weeks ago 7th after starting 12th, and Charlotte ROVAL 12th place last time. But again, we just know how good he is, right? That 3rd place at Vegas, had a bad day at Martinsville where he crashed out, but 6th at Homestead, 7th at Texas later on. On this particular track, like I said, he does have a 3rd place finish in the spring, but a 6th place finish in the fall of 2024 last year, really, which is when he was still kind of getting his feet wet. 17th place finish in his first race ever on this track. So Jesse Love, always talented. I don't feel like if the guy just did it in the spring, it's a lot like when we were talking about last, the Cup Series betting episode when somebody was just horrendously mispriced. I feel like this is a misprice for Jesse Love to finish top 3. Is it going to be difficult? Absolutely. But plus 450 difficult? I don't know. So I like Jesse Love, top 3, plus 450.
I don't know. This is a tough one. All those JGR, JRM cars are going to be fast. It's going to be tough, I think, for him to crack it in an RCR car. Hunter just checking in. Shout out to Hunter. He says, hey, guys, just tuning in. He thinks Love makes the final 4. I'm sure that Rod loves that play as well. Rod, a known lover of Jesse Love.
Love.
I'm a known lover, Rod, of the mustache himself. One Dean Thompson. We're riding her back, baby. We did it at Kansas a couple of weeks ago, and they unfortunately dropped the numbers down quite a bit, but we're still going to take it anyways. Top 10 numbers, 5-1. Absolutely love that. The top 5 number is 40-1. I was told, Rod, that he wasn't going to be good at Kansas a couple of weeks ago, that it wasn't possible. His equipment was not able to hold up and withstand it. Those things determined to be a lie because he did. He ran up there all day long. They talked about him for a while. Look how good he's doing. 7th place in stage 2. He was running up there throughout the entire day after finishing 10th place rather in stage 1. Pit road miscue, that's always going to be an issue with this type of team, right? Got him pushed back a little bit. Then on the restart, got shuffled out. Still, he fought back, got back into the top 10 at the very end there, cashed the top 10 tickets for us. We're riding it back with Dean Thompson this week, and you're getting some really great numbers on it. Dean also a rookie in the series, so you don't have a ton to go back and look on, but that 10th place run at Kansas, very telling a couple of weeks ago. And you go back and you look, big, fast track, right, where Sam Hunt in the past, they have struggled, right? So I'm not going to completely shit on that because they've had a lot of issues in the past, but big, fast track, right? Yes, there were some drafting elements there, but not like everywhere else. 10th place run for Dean at Indianapolis, a great run there. Pocono, he was 17th, not too far outside of that top 10 in a big track. Charlotte, a 5th place finish, a mile and a half. He started 23rd on the day. Doesn't matter where he starts. The starting position doesn't seem to hinder him from getting good results on tracks where he's capable of doing it. 5th place run there. 15th here in the spring in his first real race. I guess so. They did go to Phoenix, I guess, before Vegas, but second oval of the season outside of the super speedways, right? Getting his feet wet. First time in the Xfinity series here, full time. All that. He still went out, ran well. Top 15. So 5 spots outside of this. You're getting him a 5-1 for the top 10, and then 40-1, a big number. If he can put together a perfect day for Dean Thompson, he can be a top 5 guy. We're going to ride the mustache and hopefully double dip on the bets we hit at Kansas a couple weeks ago. So give me Dean Thompson, top 10, 5-1, top 5, 40-1.
And it's more just fun to root for Dean Thompson than it is anything else, right?
Oh. Yeah, and bets like this are so fun because even if he goes out and he finishes in 12th or he's running top 15 all day, you're going to feel like that whole race at Kansas, I had the blood pumping and it's like, oh my God, he's doing it. You know the whole time, like something's probably going to go wrong. This isn't going to cash, but oh my God, he's top 10 in stage 1. Oh my God, he's scooted up to 7th in stage 2. Oh, like the whole day. And then the pit stop and you're like, oh, motherfucker. Like you're getting pissed about Dean Thompson's pit stop. Like that's what makes this shit so much fun. Give me some goddamn Dean Thompson this week. Love the mustache.
Yeah, or getting pissed off at Dean Thompson's pits. Not something you do every Saturday.
We need a Dean Thompson. You talk, Rod. I'm going to find a Dean Thompson mustache picture here.
That's beautiful. Okay. All right. Well, I am going to go back to my winning car ways, and I look and I like the winning car number is set at 19.5 on Caesars. I'm going to go ahead and take the under on this one at -110. I do like the price for the under 19.5. Well, you say, what does that get you, Rod, in terms of drivers? Well, I tell you, it gets you a pretty decent crop of folks. It gets you Eric Almirola. This is, I guess, the Brandon Jones line, if we're going to pick a driver that separates them. But it gets you Eric Almirola in that Joe Gibbs 19. Look, if we're going to start naming off Joe Gibbs drivers, it gets you William Sawalich into that 18. It gets you Corey Day, who's been turning on like gangbusters lately in the 17. Christian Eckes. It gets you Daniel Hemrick. It gets you Sammy Smith. It gets you Justin Allgaier, which is kind of really where I'm saying that this is a double-up opportunity for you there. It also gets you Jesse Love. It gets you Kvapil. It gets you Creed. What if Creed accidentally wins this race here in Las Vegas and picks up his first win? He needs it definitely to get him across the line. But yeah, for me, this is more just an opportunity to double up on a particular driver, but it also gives you Eric Almirola, who we know is sneaky good at just jumping up and winning these opportunities. And so you say, okay, well, yeah, but Connor Zilisch is the favorite and he's on the other side of this in the 88. And I understand that. And I'm fully with you on that one. Also the Brandon Jones and I guess Austin Hill, if you really want to get technical on that one, as well as Sam Mayer. But those guys you could just put outrights on and you can cover yourself that way. But for me, when you look at Connor Zilisch, yeah, he's been fantastic, right? I mean, obviously you can't deny anything that the kid's done with his 10 wins, 18 top 5s, and 20 top 10s. But let's kind of look at what he's done on ovals, right? He finished runner-up at Kansas. That is not a win. And I know Gateway was an oval, but it's not a 1.5 mile oval. So he ended up winning that race. But Nashville, I know that's not a 1.5 mile, but still second place there. Charlotte, that is a 1.5 mile. He finished runner-up in that one as well. Homestead, 12th place finish there. Las Vegas, 9th place finish there. So the 1.5 miles, as much as he's picked up on the ovals, for whatever reason, these 1.5 miles have not been ones that he's actually won on. Can he go out and win it? Or it'd be dumb if we said no, right? And obviously, if you want to put money on Connor Zilisch to win this race, go ahead. But you also have to recognize the patterns in his abilities to win races and when he wins races. And this, Cody even said it in the beginning of the episode, where he's got such a huge cushion, they're not going to go out and try to ruin it, right? They're going to just go out, run their races, be fast, but not try to get themselves in situations where they're going to hurt their cushion that they've got, and really just continue to build on that. You know, good stage points day, good finish day. Yeah, a win would instantly project them into the Final Four, but by all rights and accounts, they're almost already there. Like, it'd be very difficult. A couple crashes would be the only way to take them out. So, but again, the fact that Connor Zilic has not necessarily won a mile and a half a lot or at all, but, you know, coupled with the fact that there's some heavy hitters under that number, give me under 19 and a half.
Yeah, I actually don't hate this one, and I think you're kind of right on Zilic. Obviously, the kid's been amazing, right? He showed us what immortal he is last week, though, driving like a little bitch in the Truck Series race. Sorry for giving him out in that race. Jesus Christ. I can't wait to hammer his – you can't beat the fucking Truck Series drivers on a road course. I don't want to hear shit about how he's winning Cup Series races next year. Anyways, that's another topic for another day. But, yeah, the mile and a halves have definitely been a bigger struggle. He didn't look great at Kansas just a couple of weeks ago. I know Larson got in there and won in that car. Was at Texas, I think, mile and a half. Yes, but that's also Kyle Larson. That's also pre-Captain Shook. So, all that stuff. So, yeah, I actually agree with you on this. And don't, spoiler alert, have Connor Zilic on the outrights. That's not the best picture ever as it uploads here, but the mustache is beautiful anyways, Rod. So, got a bet on the mustache. All right, let's get to our outright winners now. I left Dean Thompson off this section, but hey, if you're feeling really spicy, you could toss some mustache in there as well. I'm going to ride with Eric Almirola, 6-1. So just looking at the layout rather of this, Zilic, heavy favorite at the top, 2-1 area. Allgaier, 3-1 area. I think you're splitting hairs between the two. I think they both certainly could get it done. We've seen, obviously, Almirola won, or Allgaier won a couple weeks ago at Kansas. Oh, wait, no, he didn't. Never mind. He was dominant there, but then just why'd you not take tires? Whatever. Anyways, another story for another day. But I'm going to ride with Eric Almirola here. Look, JGR cars, they're fast when we get to these mile and a halves. Yes, the JRM cars, some of them can be, not so much the one car, but some of the other ones can be fast on these mile and a halves. But Almirola's looked really good this season. Las Vegas, he did race here in the spring. It's been a limited schedule for him, but led 51 laps. Sadly ended up in second place at the end of the day, but a very good run there. And actually, that's the only mile and a half that he's been on this season. So don't have a ton to look at when it comes to him. Last year, though, made some starts. Vegas in the spring wasn't overly impressive. Very good in Indianapolis. Ended up with a third place finish there. Goes to Kansas, wins that one. That was the fall race there at Kansas as well. Not quite as good here in the fall, but I think he's going to bounce back, have a nice run this weekend. And I think when you put these three guys out there, Zilic should be the favorite. Allgaier should be right there with them. And Almirola, I agree, is just behind them. But when you're getting him at twice the number of Allgaier and, 3 times the number of a Connor Zilic, I think that you're splitting hairs enough. He's the best deal of the three. So give me Eric Almirola at 6-1 to win. Brandon Jones at 12-1. You laid out the case for him earlier, so I'm not going to go too much farther into it. Just won 2 weeks ago at Kansas, and it wasn't a fluky like Chase Elliott, got in there at the last second. No, he was really good. Started on the pole, dropped back at the beginning, but ran up front all day, led quite a few laps, looked really good. Vegas, another one of those tracks. You laid out the case earlier. He's been really good. Hasn't got the win here yet, but coming off the momentum of winning a couple of weeks ago, if you don't have that championship ticket on Brandon Jones yet, I know it's the Connor Zilic show, but he's good at Phoenix. He's good at Martinsville. He's good at Las Vegas. 3, and I think he's pretty decent at Dega too, but 3 of these last 4 tracks he's good at. We could be talking about a Brandon Jones championship, and that would really upset the apple cart. I'd love to see it, Rod. And then Sam Mayer, 14-1. He's the other guy I'm going to take. We haven't really talked about him today, but looked very, very good at Kansas a couple of weeks ago. Also made the poor decision, like Justin Allgaier, to not take tires in that last pit stop and completely sunk their day. 16th place result, but not indicative of how they ran on the day. He was very fast at Indianapolis, finished in second place there, leading 32 laps, had a solid day. Going back to Texas, finished in fifth place there. He got a win, of course, at Texas last year, fifth place here in the spring. So he's been pretty good on the mile and a halves this season as well. And was a very strong car at Kansas a couple of weeks ago until that just very baffling decision late in the race there to not take tires. But 14-1, I think, good number for Sam Mayer. So Almirola 6-1, Jones 12-1, and Mayer at 14-1 are my outrights.
Did Mayer accidentally pick up on the JRM frequency and think that they were talking? Does he still have that program? Because, sometimes I still have radio stations on my pre-programmed in my car.
It bleeds in.
Yeah, and I'm like, you
go from like the hard rock station to like a gospel song suddenly starts creeping in or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing that now.
Yeah. Oh, that station changed real quick. Like, oh, how did I get that? But yeah, no, I like all three of these actually. I really do, because I think this race in particular, for as much as the books are painting this to be a runaway for Connor Zilisch, I don't think it is. I think it's going to be a little more open than the books are giving it credit for, and I do agree that this should be anybody at the top their ball game. Laura's saying, who's winning? We don't know at this point. That's kind of why we're kind of taking all these. I think Justin Allgaier stands a good shot, and I do like his number at 3-1 over on Hard Rock. He won this race in the spring, so he's got that going for him as well. He turned around and actually won at Miami the week after that. And we just know. I mean, look, Justin Allgaier, very difficult to not know the story for Justin Allgaier at this point, right? The story of his season, the story of how good he's been, how much him and Connor Zilisch have pushed each other over the past few weeks, especially. And it's just a matter of, boy, we were a pit stop away, I think, from Justin Allgaier being able to take the win at Kansas. But what I'll say about this track in particular for Justin Allgaier, look, he's got more top fives than most of these drivers have career starts on this track, right? He's got 12 top 5 finishes. Most drivers don't even have double-digit starts that he's racing against on this particular track. So he knows this track better than most of these guys. Like we said, first place here in the spring, third in the fall the season before, a 10th place finish in 2024, but he started 36th in that race, and then 6th, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 2nd, 14th, 4th, 8th, 5th, 31st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. He's only got the one win. That was the first time, because I think we talked about it too in the spring. We were like, come on, he's got to break through for a win at some point, right? He's got all these runner-up finishes. He's got all these top 5 finishes, 12 and 22, by the way, and 19 top 10 finishes in 22 starts. Average finish here of 6.9. So, breaking through, he's got to break through. Well, he broke through. And what I'm hoping for in this particular is that they learned from Kansas to not be silly and go out and actually do the right thing this time and take the tires.
That's what scares me to bet on Allgaier is they're racing scared. Like, that was a call of, we don't think we can beat the 8, we don't think we can beat the 20. Let's just go be different because we have to let this fall in our lap. Maybe it works out if there's another caution or whatever, but racing scared is hard to bet on at 3-1, Rob.
It is, but I'm hoping that they stop. Now that they're in the next round of the playoffs, they can just stop racing scared.
And, as good as Connor Zilisch has been, and it's an amazing run he's on, he of course won the Xfinity race again last week. And it's like his top 5 run is immaculate. It's crazy how many top 5s in a row he's had, which at some point has to fall off, which Talladega certainly could be that next week. But if I'm picking between the two, I would rather bet on Allgaier this week than Zilisch, because the 1.5 miles for Allgaier have just been crazy good. He was the best car at Kansas, and it just didn't work out because of the late pit calls and whatnot. And I think Jones had something for him anyways. I think they were a little scared of that. But, Allgaier is the guy I would take if I was going to take them. And then Laura was asking what Zilich's odds are. He's at 2-1. And then, of course, you can get Allgaier at 3-1, and then Almirola is the next guy on the board at the plus 650.
I'm seeing people
minus 165 last week was road course Zilisch numbers.
People are beating him down. He's 180, plus 180 now, Connor Zilisch, on Caesars and DK and probably a couple other places as well. So hammering him down, which is fine. Go ahead. Continue to hammer him down, because that means other guys are going to get the boost from that one as well.
And, like, again, you won't be surprised if he does win, but I don't think much like Captain Shook, you can't bet on at the number. I don't think you can bet Zilisch at the number this week. Although I'd rather bet Zilisch than Captain Shook, if that tells you anything.
Actually, and I'll bet Zilisch over him, but I still think he's going to win because he's Shook due. All right, get out your pen and paper. It's time to go over our bets for this Focus Health 302. And, of course, if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and get that screenshot ready. I started you out with Carson Kvapil over Taylor Gray at, even money, but plus 105 over on Caesars. When I made the graphic, I had even money bet, but I found it better. So plus 105. I forgot to put the Daniel Dye winner of group in there. It's not Allmendinger top 10. Erase that from your memory. If you're
watching.
You did
put it if you look down a little farther, Rod.
Oh, I did, but I didn't take out the Allmendinger top 10. All right. Dye to win group 5, not group 2. My eyes
We'll have to fire this graphics guy. Probably the same guy that's picking Kvapil over Gray.
You guys. Yeah. All right. Brandon Jones, top 5 at plus 160. It's 2-1 now if you find it there. Jesse Love at a top 3 at plus 450. Again, odds are subject to change. Daniel Dye, winner of group 5 at 2-1. Man, this graphic guy blows. Winning car number under 19.5 at minus 110. And then Justin Allgaier 2 in the waist at 300. Let's go to a better.
Just pray that Rod's picks are better than his graphic.
I swear to God, this is a long season. I think this is where my tire just blew. All right, Cody gave you the other side of the coin. Gave you Tay Gray over Carson Kvapil at minus 120. Up the game to give you Taylor Gray as a top 5 car at 3-1. Ryan Seig top 10 at plus 110. Daniel Hemrick top 10 at plus 125. Dean Thompson top 10 at 5-1, and Dean Thompson top 5 at 40-1. Eric Almirola at 6-1, Brandon Jones at 12-1, and Sam Mayer at 14-1 to win this race. They did not spend up on production value for this race. I apologize. we're just
yeah. It's all good, Rob.
We missed a lug nut.
People know. That's why you got to listen as well as not just screenshot at the end. So there you go. That's your lesson for the day.
Lesson for the day. All right. Well then, Cody, that is it for the Xfinity series. When we come back tomorrow, we'll talk DFS for both of the series because like we like to do, when there's only 2 series, we have more time to talk DFS. And so we'll do that for you and break down the Xfinity and Cup race and our favorite plays from the DFS slate. Little after dark for you tonight. And for those of you who wake up in the morning, you have no clue because you just listen at the same time.
Yes, that was the most I've talked TK during the pick screen. Usually I just mute my microphone and allow that to Rod, but I had to poke fun at him for it being so fucked up.
It's true. Oh my God. Yeah, I would too, man. Are you kidding? Like I'm going to go and fire myself and you guys are going to have a new co-host next week because I'm done.
Well, let's not go that far, but let us know which side of the Tay Gray Carson Kvapil battle you're on. Are you Team Rod, Team Cody? Give us the Spotify comments. We're looking for some more of those. YouTube, whatever it is, Discord. Let us know which team you're on. We would love to hear it. And you can follow me, Rod, over on the X at Husker_Zebra. You can find all my stuff, college football, NFL, tons and tons of other stuff. It's all over there. See you guys tomorrow for some fantasy talk.
Yes, sir. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. There is all kinds of crazy stuff going on my Twitter nowadays, especially since it is Niner season. Very happy Fresno State won. Very happy Army won. So it was a great weekend of football. I'm looking forward to a great weekend of NASCAR. Good card for us overall. A couple of good bets that got cashed. So, yeah. And then, of course, join us in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord to continue the conversation. And like Cody said, let us know what side of the big Tay debate you are on and what your favorite Taylor Gray song is. We'll see you guys tomorrow for DFS. And until then, let's go racing and let it ride.